Alright, chapter 1097 of One Piece might have this put me in my feelings, dog. I didn't think that a manga could make me cry. Anime and anime episodes, they made me cry. But manga, that's never happened before. We're back with chapter 1087 of One Piece. So, bro, I want to know which one of y'all are requesting these cover pages, because I don't understand. Some of y'all just have the most random cover requests, like Kuma catching salmon in a river. Is it just me? I don't. So this was the cover page, and this chapter was called Ginny, and we started off 8 years after the God Valley incident in the Sorbet Kingdom. Kuma's a pastor, and we kind of already knew this because the guy he carries a Bible. I guess we kind of knew this, and my man's was literally doing Jesus's work right now, healing the sick and these old elderly people, taking away all their pain. And now you would look at this and you would think that oh, Kuma, he's just doing good, and yeah. And then you keep going, and then Ginny comes out. She's 21 now, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. But yeah, I'm wondering why she's mad, because she comes at Kuma and was getting mad at these old people, saying oh, you cheapskates, da 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 da, he's helping you, all this, that. I'm just thinking why is she getting mad? I keep reading. Bro, I low-key forgot that with the paw fruit, when you take out someone's pain, it just stores it into a bigger paw. And obviously the more pain you have, the bigger the bubble is, right? So you look at this bubble that Kuma has, that's all the pain that he collected from that, I'm assuming from that day, right? He's quite literally taking on all that pain. Not some, not all, not some, not just a little bit. He's taking on all of it. And just look at him. My man's got laid out on the floor. Ginny's has to take care of him. She's literally in tears. Literally, bro is putting his body and the life on the line for his people. And it makes sense. It makes sense. This is Kuma. But I just want you to think about that. Imagine he does this on a consistent basis. Because old people, it's always either knees, arthritis, their back, their head, they can't see. It's always something with him. He's just taking in all of that pain. Because I guess he could just let the paw just take in all that energy. But even then, it's gonna get so big to the point where you can't store it anymore. But then again, he is a part of the Buccaneer race, so it's not like he can't handle all that. Look how big this guy is. He literally towers over anybody. So if anyone can take that pain, it's Kuma. But yeah, so she's taking care of him, and like I said, we're still in Kuma's backstory. He's literally just taking care of him. After this is 25 years ago, but just a couple years after that. And then she just out of nowhere just says, let's get married. And this, that, and the third. Just out the blue. And it seems that Kuma does actually like her, but it's the fact that he's a Buccaneer. So if they have a child, which potentially could be Bonnie. They did have a child. That child would have Buccaneer blood, and now the world government will want her. So that's why my brother does not want to have kids, right? They were looking at news articles, and this is where he got first introduced to Dragon, and he was saying how cool he was, how he wants to be just like him, dedicate his life to saving people. He literally says it right there. One day he wants to sail out to sea. The chapter keeps going on. Not too much happens until we get to right here, where 22 years ago, where a major event happened. This was in the other half of the island. So if we skip ahead a little bit, there's the Sorbet Kingdom, right? The top half, as you can see, that's the castle town, where the rich people reside in. And then obviously the lower half is what they call the lawless land, the old folks village, Kuma's church, poor people. And so in the rich people side of it, when people were coming up there, the government, they don't care about people. They were kidnapping kids, beating them, and Kuma was trying to stop that, and they were just not letting go of the people. And so he stood on business, and hey, that's all he did. He stood on business. The king that they had, this guy was a piece of shit. This guy, and this new policy that they had with this was that they were separating the border so that the amount of the celestial tribute is decided by the country's population. They essentially want to raise the population of the rich people side of it, because they can actually have children, and they can afford it, unlike the people in the lower realm of this kingdom. Getting rid of that side of the island as a whole, right? But obviously for that, for what Kuma did, he ended up in jail, and literally everybody else ended up in jail too, because they were trying to save Kuma. He's so big, man. I want you guys to think about this. Kuma is a giant. He's huge and towers over Ginny. if this is actually his soon-to-be wife, and Bonnie is their kid, you know what I'm referring to. You know what I'm referring to. So, how is that physically possible? How? Because the way I'm thinking of it, if he's that big, then like, and Ginny is like 5'3", 5'4", like it doesn't make sense to me. It does not. It makes no sense to me. That shouldn't be possible. It would literally impale her, but that's none of my business, I guess. How bad the kingdom is falling down and all the bigotry and hate that's going on and the new policy and all that new stuff that's going on. Man and a woman, or two men walk in, and one of them is Ivankov. The other one is Dragon. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is how Kuma joined the revolutionaries, met Dragon, and got reunited with Ivankov. Was because they came, they saved the land, and then Kuma joined the revolutionaries after that. And this is where the actual name of the Revolutionary Army came to be born, was from this day right here. And then obviously Ginny and everybody else ended up joining them. If there's one thing I love about One Piece though, the way that they wear their jackets, it's so hard. Like, I promise you, if that style was like how we have now with like women who wear jackets like that, if that was normalized with men, that would look so hard. Like it's actually so hard. But yeah, as we keep going down, they're just training the revolutionaries, this, that, and the third. Kuma and Ivankov are on the ship and they're just discussing things. The same old, you can rely on me, you won't regret joining us, this, that, and third, yada yada yada. Yeah. So we keep going down. A certain kingdom 14 years ago. Obviously, we keep going. We're getting closer to the present, but you know what I mean. Ginny's excited to finally meet up with Kuma's squadron. This and everybody's getting embarrassed. Everybody's getting jealous of Kuma because that lucky dog, he's won the lady's heart. Yada 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 yada. But next thing you know, they get a call and Ginny's been captured. But before we talk about that, look at this beautiful color spread. This color spread is actually beautiful. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. Because there's a couple things I want to discuss. One of which is that we're finally getting a little bit more like backstory on Dragon. So he was the one who liberated the Sorbet Kingdom, met Kuma, was able to recruit him. So we got a little bit more on Dragon's character as a whole. But Ginny is somebody who is like messing with my head because she's getting a lot of, I wouldn't say screen time, but she's getting a lot of paper time in the manga. She's important in some way, whether it's Kuma's soon-to-be wife and they had Bonnie, or just something with Ginny and Kuma being acquainted with each other. There's something more to that. Because why would she be the only one that just gets captured? Why not being killed or something like that? And let's not forget, obviously I didn't have a chapter review the last chapter, but in the previous chapter, Ginny had like all this intel. She was able to let people know she was on God Valley and was able to send a message out into the world of what was happening on God Valley at a young age too. So she had connections outside of the island for a very young age. So there is definitely a lot more to Bonnie Ginny that meets the eye. So I don't know what it is. But if she's been captured, there's only really 2 to 3 things who could have actually captured her, which would be the world government, CP9 or 0, or just another band of pirates. And again, if we think back to why Bonnie is being chased by the world government and why they want her so bad, or just want her dead, and then obviously with Kuma being her father, there's some correlation there that I can't put my brain on right now. But there is definitely some correlation there with Ginny, Bonnie, and Kuma all together. Clear. It's literally being written in front of us. Her name is Ginny her name is Ginny. Bonnie, come on. But yeah, that's chapter 1097, and it was definitely a very emotional chapter. I'm not gonna lie. This shit was fucking emotional. It really messed with my emotions because seeing how good of a person Kuma was in the past and how he ended up becoming a slave, it really just makes me wonder what exactly happened that made him a slave, and how he ended up going back into being a slave, and like what was the event that made him go back to that? Because clearly we can see he was able to like protect himself and hold his own. So there was some tragedy that happened that made him make that decision. Because we know that, but we just don't know what it was. We just know there was something that insinuated it because of Vegapunk. That's chapter 1097 this month, and the rest of this year is going to be a good month. So see y'all in the next video.